Hello, I'm the Emperor's Archivist, and today I'll be talking about the Mark V Heresy pattern armor.
None shall stop us!
So, during the Horus Heresy, Space Marine armor was quickly wearing out due to the constant and mobile nature of warfare during that time, making it really hard to repair or replace. Things were especially bad on the Loyalist side since Mark IV armor was already hard to repair, and Tech Marines on the Loyalist side were unfamiliar with it, and most Loyalist legions only had Mark IIs and IIIs at this point. These factors made resupplying damaged armor pretty bad, since the demand for power armor outstripped the Imperium's ability to supply it. To combat this issue, Tech Marines then developed a new suit of power armor, the Mark V. It was assembled from a mix of existing components, older models, and newly produced elements. The Mark V used heavier cables when compared to the Mark IV, made from easier to find materials, which was then placed on the leg, arm, and the chest of the Mark V. However, since these cables were too bulky to fit under the new chest plate, it left them exposed, creating a weak spot which then had to be covered with makeshift chest armor. A key feature of the Mark V armor was its heavily studded plates. An extra skin plate was added using molecular bonding studs, which made the armor much heavier. This was done to reinforce Mark IV plates with inferior materials due to supply shortages. This extra weight increased the demand on the power pack, forcing the wearer to either increase power output and deal with the heat buildup, or keep power levels low and reduce performance. The helmet shown is an early version from the Terminator development program, using the same Autosense components as Terminator suits. Now, according to White Dwarf 469, nice, there are two types of the Mark V created during the Horus Heresy. The first type, sometimes called Production Mark V, is made from power armor parts that most legions could make or get themselves. They used common designs for parts that worked well together. For example, the arms and upper legs came from early Mark VI designs, but have extra heat sinks and wrist seals from the Mark VII. The lower legs also come from early Mark VI designs, and the power pack is the same as the later Corvus pattern. The second type, non-production Mark V, is a mix of different armor marks put together in the field, often in ways that tech priests wouldn't approve of. It commonly combines parts from Mark II and III with Mark IV, VI, and sometimes even Mark VII. Every legion used Mark V armor to some extent, especially those that were cut off from their supply lines or engaged in the heaviest fighting. The Shattered legions, Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard relied heavily on it because they were often separated far from resupply points. The Imperial Fists, mainly stationed at Terra, used it less, but some of their units that fought away from the main body had to adopt it. The World Eaters Legion used Mark V armor extensively during the end of the war. Their intense combat roles and rapid replenishment of troops, known as inductee, required them to make do with whatever armor components were available. This made Mark V armor common among the World Eaters Berserkers, who continued to use it predominantly in the Wars of the Scouring and beyond. Heresy pattern armor carries memories and allusions to the Imperium's darkest hour, but also its greatest victory and the Emperor's ascension. Other austerities will offer a wearer of this pattern of power armor solemn respect, but members of the Inquisition, who know that this pattern of armor is particularly common among Chaos Space Marines, will be instinctively suspicious of any austerities with such a close connection to the traitor legions. Well, that concludes my little dive into the Mark V Heresy armor. The Mark V is easily my favorite design out of all the power armors. I mean, I really can't comprehensively talk about or put into proper words about what I think about this armor, but all I can say is it just looks really angry and really intimidating. Like someone stole his lunch and now it's here to beat the shit out of you, when it probably wasn't your fault, but it doesn't care. Yeah, I don't know why I think that, but that's what comes in my mind when I look at it. If you love the armor design, do share it in the comments and tell me why. My next video will discuss the Mark VI Corvus power armor, so stay tuned for that. If you saw the entire video, I hope you learned some cool stuff about the Mark V armor. So, thank you for your time. This is the Emperor's Archivist signing out. Bye bye.